Welcome to the Psychology and Physical Training channel. Today we're diving into the dark psychology of females, specifically how girls play mind games and how you can protect yourself. Look, I'm not saying all women are like this, but everyone plays games sometimes. When these games become manipulative and hurtful, that's when we need to pay attention. We need to understand what's going on to protect ourselves and build healthy relationships. So, if you're ready to take a deep dive into the dark side of female psychology, buckle up and let's get started. The first mind game that girls play is playing hard to get. This is where they pretend to be uninterested in you to make you more interested in them. It's a classic tactic, but it can be incredibly effective. So how can you spot it? Look for inconsistencies in their behavior. If they're saying one thing but doing another, it may be a sign that they're playing games. You meet a girl, hit it off and think things are going great. Then she starts blowing you off, not answering your texts, cancelling plans, acting like she couldn't care less. Now you're thinking, what did I do wrong? What's going on? You're hooked, and she knows it. If someone is genuinely interested in you, they'll make time for you. They won't leave you hanging. So if she's playing hard to get, it's probably because she's not that into you, or she's playing games. Be aware of the game and don't let yourself get played. If she's not showing you the same level of interest that you're showing her, it's time to move on. Remember, you deserve someone who's going to be upfront and honest with you, someone who's not going to play games with your heart. You deserve someone who's just as excited to be with you as you are to be with them. So, the next time you find yourself wondering if a girl is playing hard to get, ask yourself this: is she really worth the effort, or are you just chasing after something that's not there? Remember, life's too short to waste time on people who aren't invested in you. Stay strong, stay aware, and don't let anyone play you for a fool. Learn from these experiences and grow. Each encounter teaches you something valuable. Keep your heart open, but also protect it. Meet new people, engage in activities that make you happy. Genuine connections are out there, and they are worth the wait. And remember, sometimes the best company is your own. Enjoy your journey. The second mind game that girls play is emotional manipulation. This is where they use guilt, anger, or self-pity to control your emotions and get what they want. It's a powerful tactic, but it can be incredibly damaging. So, how can you protect yourself? Set clear boundaries and don't let them push you around. Emotional manipulation can be subtle. It can start with little things like guilt trips or passive-aggressive comments, but over time it can escalate into full-blown emotional blackmail. You might find yourself constantly walking on eggshells, afraid to say or do anything that might set her off. You tell your girlfriend that you're going out with your friends on Friday night. She immediately gets upset and starts giving you the silent treatment. When you ask her what's wrong, she says nothing in a cold, clipped tone. You know she's upset, but you have no idea why. So you spend the rest of the night trying to figure out what you did wrong, and eventually you end up apologizing and promising to stay home with her instead. This is a classic example of emotional manipulation. She's using guilt and withdrawal to control your behavior. And the worst part is it works. You end up doing what she wants, even though you don't want to, because you're afraid of the consequences if you don't. But here's the thing. You're not responsible for her emotions. You can't control how she feels. What you can control is how you react to her behavior. Stand your ground and tell her that you're not going to tolerate being treated that way. Chapter 3. Gaslighting. The third mind game that girls play is gaslighting. This tactic is not only manipulative, but also deeply damaging. This is where they manipulate your perception of reality to make you doubt your own sanity. It's a psychological strategy that can leave you feeling lost and disoriented. It's a classic tactic, but it can be incredibly effective. The subtlety of gaslighting makes it hard to detect at first. So how can you spot it? Look for inconsistencies in their story and don't be afraid to question their behavior. Trust your instincts when something feels off. Gaslighting is one of the most insidious forms of emotional abuse because it makes you question your own sanity. It undermines your confidence and sense of reality. It's like a slow poison that eats away at your self-confidence and your ability to trust your own judgment. Over time, it can erode your mental health. It can start with Subtle things like denying things that you know happened or telling you that you're imagining things. These small lies build up over time, but over time it can escalate into full-blown distortions of reality. You might find yourself doubting everything you once knew to be true. You might find yourself questioning your own memory, your own sanity, even your own identity. This can be incredibly disorienting and damaging. You and your girlfriend are having an argument. The tension is high and emotions are running wild. You remember her saying something hurtful, but when you confront her about it, she denies ever saying it. This denial can be infuriating and confusing. She tells you that you're misremembering things or that you're being too sensitive. These accusations make you second-guess yourself. At first, you doubt yourself. You start to wonder if maybe you did mishear her, maybe you did mishear her, maybe you are being too sensitive. These thoughts can be paralyzing. Maybe you are being too sensitive. The doubt creeps in, making you question your own feelings and perceptions. But deep down, you know what you heard. Your inner voice tells you the truth. This is a classic example of gaslighting. Recognizing it is the first step to breaking free from its grip. She's deliberately distorting your perception of reality to make you doubt yourself. This manipulation is calculated and intentional, and the more you doubt yourself, the easier it is for her to control you. This control can become all-encompassing. If someone is constantly denying your reality, contradicting themselves, or making you feel like you're going crazy, it's a major red flag. Trust your gut. Your intuition is a powerful tool. If something feels off, it probably is. Don't ignore these feelings. They're there to protect you. Don't be afraid to question the other person's behavior, and don't let them make you feel bad for standing up for yourself. Your well-being is paramount. If you're being gaslighted, reach out to a trusted friend, family member, therapist, or domestic violence hotline. Seeking support is a crucial step in reclaiming your reality and mental health. Chapter 4: Playing the Victim. The fourth mind game that girls play is playing the victim. This is where they pretend to be helpless or vulnerable to get sympathy and attention. It's a classic tactic, but it can be incredibly effective in manipulating those around them. So, how can you spot it? Look for inconsistencies in their behavior, and don't be afraid to question their motives. It's important to distinguish between someone who is genuinely going through a tough time and needs support and someone who is manipulating others by playing the victim. Someone who is playing the victim will often refuse to take responsibility for their actions, blame others for their problems, and exaggerate their misfortunes to gain sympathy. For example, let's say you're dating a girl who is constantly complaining about her job, her family, her friends, her life in general. Every time you talk, it's a new drama, a new crisis. It never seems to end. She never seems to catch a break, and she always seems to be the victim of circumstance. Now, at first, you might feel sorry for her. You might want to be there for her, to offer a shoulder to cry on, but after a while, you might start to notice a pattern. You might start to realize that she's never actually looking for solutions to her problems. She's just looking for someone to validate her feelings and tell her that she's right, that everyone else is wrong. This is a classic sign of someone who is playing the victim. They don't want to solve their problems, they want to wallow in them. They thrive on the attention and sympathy they receive. Focus on setting boundaries and protecting your own emotional well-being. It's crucial to recognize these patterns early and take steps to safeguard your mental health. Chapter 5: Love Bombing. The fifth mind game that girls play is love bombing. This is where they shower you with excessive attention and affection to make you feel special and loved. It's a classic tactic, but it can be incredibly effective. So, how can you spot it? Look for inconsistencies in their behavior and don't be afraid to question their motives. Remember, real love is built on mutual respect and trust, not on excessive attention and affection. Love bombing is not the same as genuine love and affection. It's a form of manipulation, a way to gain control over someone by overwhelming them with attention and affection. In the beginning, it can feel amazing. You're swept off your feet by this person who seems to be completely enamored with you. They're constantly showering you with compliments, gifts, and attention. They want to spend every waking moment with you. It feels like a fairy tale romance. But here's the catch. Love bombing is often too much, too soon. It's like trying to water a plant with a fire hose. It's overwhelming and suffocating. And once they feel like they've hooked you, the love bombing stops. Suddenly, the attention and affection dry up. They become distant, withdrawn, even cruel. They might start criticizing you, putting you down, or making you feel insecure. This sudden shift in behavior can be incredibly confusing and hurtful. You might find yourself wondering what you did wrong, why they suddenly changed. But the truth is, you didn't do anything wrong. This is just how love bombers operate. Trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. So there you have it. These are just a few examples of the mind games that girls play. By understanding these tactics, you can protect yourself and build healthier relationships. And if you like this video, do not forget to subscribe and follow the Psychology and Physical Training channel for more videos. Thanks for joining me today on this journey.